The Gaza crisis, a tragedy unfolding. Over 300 lost lives in 2 days. Ceasefire prospects in doubt. In an alarming update from the ongoing conflict, more than 300 Palestinians have tragically lost their lives at the hands of Israeli forces within just 48 hours. According to statements from the Gaza government media office, this period has seen what they describe as 26 bloody massacres carried out on various civilian locations. Among the victims, at least 73 Palestinians have died since early Thursday morning, including 33 aid seekers at the contentious Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, GHF, aid centers. These centers, backed by Israel and the United States, are reported to be hotspots of extreme violence, where desperate civilians line up for food supplies. In Al-Mawasi, a southern region, 13 lost their lives when Israeli forces targeted a tent shelter. Additionally, 16 more were killed and many others wounded during an assault on Mustafa Hafiz School, a makeshift shelter housing displaced families just west of Gaza City. Medical sources relayed these grim reports to Al Jazeera. The Gaza government media office indicated that these assaults have been aimed at civilians in crowded shelters, public spaces, and marketplaces, as well as families in their homes, effectively targeting some of the most vulnerable and desperate individuals seeking basic necessities. The essential humanitarian landscape in Gaza is reportedly in crisis, as shared by Al Jazeera's correspondent Tarek Abu Azum, who described harrowing scenes of civilians waiting in vain for food, only to be met with sudden, unprovoked gunfire. This, he said, underscores the severe collapse of the humanitarian framework in the region. But here's where it gets controversial. U.S. contractors purportedly providing security at these aid distribution centers have reportedly used live ammunition and stun grenades as desperate Palestinians sought food. Witnesses who spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity highlighted that these security officers were often unqualified and heavily armed, demonstrating alarming and dangerous practices. Al Jazeera's Noor Ojay, reporting for Aman, pointed out that an Israeli response to Haaretz report, highlighting Israeli soldiers shooting at unarmed Palestinians at aid centers, emphasized that the Israeli army does not intentionally target civilians. Yet, such statements seem to follow a predictable pattern of response every time allegations arise regarding the conduct of Israeli troops. O'Day additionally suggested that the GHF's operations serve not only as an alternative to long-standing humanitarian efforts in Gaza, but also as a means to place maximum pressure on the civilian population. And this is the part most people miss. Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has declared that excessive aid is flowing into Gaza, and even suggested that no aid should enter to ensure a decisive victory for Israel. Dr. Mads Gilbert, a seasoned emergency medicine doctor who has been on the ground in Gaza for over 30 years, condemned the GHS initiative, calling it part of a broader strategy geared towards ethnically cleansing Gaza, and even going so far as to allege that it aims to exacerbate the ongoing humanitarian crisis using food as a form of control and intimidation. Controversial interpretation: the unwavering demands for the closure of GHF by over 130 humanitarian organizations, including prominent names like Oxfam and Save the Children, pose a significant ethical challenge. They accuse Israeli forces of routinely opening fire on civilians attempting to access aid, a serious accusation that demands reflection on the humanitarian intentions of such actions. The tragic toll in Gaza continues to climb, with reports indicating that since the GHF's controversial operations commenced in late May, over 600 Palestinians have been killed while seeking aid, and nearly 4,000 have been wounded. Ceasefire on the horizon. The possibility of a new 60-day ceasefire is under consideration by Hamas, who are searching for terms that would conclude the brutal conflict and secure the withdrawal of Israeli forces from the besieged enclave. According to a statement from Hamas, they are actively engaging with mediators to find common ground for resuming negotiations. This announcement came just after comments by U.S. President Donald Trump, who mentioned that Israel had agreed to the ceasefire and urged Hamas to accept the proposal before the situation worsens. The international community, including both Israeli and Palestinian leadership, is under mounting pressure to find a path to peace that addresses the multitude of humanitarian concerns in the region. What are your thoughts on these developments? Do you think the international community can broker a fair ceasefire? Let us know your opinions in the comments below.